Hey BookTube, LD Valencia here, author of the Gifted World series, and hopefully soon you'll be getting into my new fantasy series, untitled as of yet, and I'll give you guys a little bit more about that in a second. So I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what this fantasy series is going to be about that I'm working on, and kind of what you can expect if you're interested in diving into the series. So the series, I've had probably the idea for it before I really even kind of like got going with the gifted world. The idea came to me when I was still in an undergrad, and I kind of had this idea for a paladin or knight order that had armor that was kind of magical, but it kind of took on the characteristics of who the person was. And I think the inspiration from that came from the game Fable. If you are not familiar with the game Fable, your character really grows and changes based off the kind of person they are. So if they are very good, they will take on more angelic characteristics. If they are more evil, they'll take on some more devilish features like horns and even fiery hands. So I kind of had that idea, but I never really was able to do anything with it, and I didn't really know what to do with it for a long, long, long time. Fast forward 10, maybe 15 years, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons as a way to kind of work on my narrative technique. There's a great TED talk that I saw about how plenty of directors, writers, screenwriters, the whole gamut kind of got their start playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I thought this would be a good way to kind of maybe practice, and it would be a couple weeks and we'd be done. But that was not the case. We went on for about 5 or so years through the pandemic, playing online for a long time, and eventually we kind of like sunsetted the game, and my buddy started up a new game, and we've been playing that game for a while. It's actually a podcast game called A Crack in the Plan. If you guys want to check it out, highly encourage you guys to check it out. It's about me and my friends, and we're going to explore a library, and we do not mesh well. We don't fit well together. Um, so the series that I'm going to be working on focuses on these paladins, and I kind of took the world that I created in my D&D game and kind of pasted this idea onto it. And I was kind of playing around with some of those ideas through the game as well. And once we finished the game, I was like, I've done all this work. I really want to play more with these ideas and these characters and these different world building areas, but I didn't know what to do with it. So the idea kind of came back to me of those dragoons, these paladins, these knights that would have magic armor. And I had recently read The Stormlight Archives, which is a fantastic book. If you've not read it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites. And I kind of blended it with some of the elemental magic and kind of gemstones, and had this epiphany when I decided I really wanted to focus on dragons. So in the series, Dragon's Gem Heart, a heartstone, is where their magical breath comes from. So these paladins are actually created when they actually kill a dragon, they take the heartstone, and they swear their oath. And so by swearing their oath, after the gemstone is kind of magically messed with a little bit, but I won't get too much into that yet in a later episode maybe, the paladins are able to become paladins. They are given their magical armor once they've made their oath on this heartstone. And so the series is going to follow several different POVs. Some of them are paladins that have just started out. Some of them are paladins that have been paladins for years. Others will be following a path of goodness. Some will be following a path of evil. And so it's going to be exploring multiple different paladins and maybe some other characters along the way. So the series is something that's going to be really, really fun. If you love dragons, if you like dragon encounters, I think it's going to be something that you'll really, really get into. And like I said, the novella will be a free reader magnet. So when it's ready, definitely check it out and subscribe to my newsletter, and you should be able to get a free copy for it. So I think that's it. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about today on the upcoming work in progress, the Dragon Fantasy series that I have coming out. So see you guys in the next one.